Timberline Church, good morning. I wish I could say it's good to see you, but quite frankly, I can't see you. But I can say that it's really fun to hear from you guys after we send a video out. Just to hear that you're tuning in and watching, it at least makes it feel a little bit like we're getting together. You know, you guys get to see my face, but here in the office, we don't get to see you at all, unless you reach out to us. So I'd really encourage you, send us a message. Just tell us how you're doing. It's really encouraging for Marlon and Lindsay and I to hear from you guys. So, everyone knows that I love church on Sunday mornings. I love gathering together. And I like church because I get to come here and there's a worship leader whose job is to lead us in worship. And there's someone preaching whose job is to teach us from God's Word. I like going to Bible study and I like meeting up with friends because I get to be led and taught by other people around me the life lessons that they're learning. But these last few weeks, I haven't had that same opportunity because we're not getting together as a church. And I can't just feel like a good Christian because I go to church. I've also realized that, I read my Bible every day. I'm not going to hide that. But I often read my Bible so that I can preach about it. Or I read my Bible so that I can lead Bible study or lead youth group. I don't always read my Bible simply because I want to grow closer in my relationship with God. So I was reading this book last night that was really, really convicting me on this topic in general. And they were talking about the fact that we're in a battle. Not just COVID-19, this book was written years ago, but we're in a spiritual battle all the time. And if we want to survive this battle, we need to be in communication with our general, with our master. And one of the battles that we're facing, particularly now, is loneliness. AJ and I were watching this movie last night that was about sad people who are in despair. And I'm telling you, watching this movie, it wasn't just sad. It was numbing. It was depressing. And it was really difficult to watch. To see humans who were relying on other humans to make them feel happy, and the people couldn't make them feel happy. We have God to rely on, and He's always with us. No amount of human interaction can make us feel better. And sometimes we can mask that by coming to church, or we can mask that with meeting up with our friends. But ultimately, only God can satisfy us. So in Philippians, Paul is writing to this church that he planted. And he tells them in chapter 2, verse 12, he says, "Therefore, my dear friends, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. For it is God who works in you to will and to act according to His good purpose." And Paul is telling these people, look, I was with you and that was great and we fellowshiped together and that was really fun. But now that I'm gone, it's up to you. You have to do this on your own and you have to work out your own salvation. Pastor Greg Laurie shares this story or the idea of a conductor who has this new score of music and it's a phenomenal score. He has a wonderful orchestra. But if they don't do anything, there's not going to be any music. Music doesn't just jump off the pages because there are instrumentalists in the room. That each individual person needs to read the music and understand the music and play the music. And only then is there the result of good sounding music. A Bible on the bookshelf doesn't make a Christian. Somebody walking through Timberline on a Sunday morning doesn't make a Christian. Although being a part of the body is an important part of being a Christian. But we have to work out our own salvation. King David talks about loving to go to the house of God to worship. And I agree, I love to come to the house of God to worship. But David was so excited about it because that's where the Holy Spirit was. But now, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, we have the Holy Spirit in us. We are the temple. We are the place where we can go to worship because God is with us all the time. But growing with Christ or worshiping doesn't just happen to us, whether we're going to church or not. It's something that we have to work out. God's the one who works inside of us, who works the miracle in us, but we have to work this out, like we talked about at Timberline just a few weeks ago. So there's always a song to match every sermonette. And the line that's been really stuck in my head these last few days is, "Even though it be a cross that raiseth me." It's from the song, "Nearer, my God, to thee, nearer to thee, even though it be a cross that raiseth me." We have a great opportunity to build a deep relationship with God in these few weeks. Even though it's difficult, even though it's not ideal, it's not what we want. Sometimes those not ideal situations are taking up a cross. And that's what it means to follow Jesus. That's what Jesus did for us. And so in these few weeks, even if it's not our favorite scenario, we have an opportunity to take our extra time and spend it deepening our relationship with Jesus, nearer our God to thee, even though it be a cross that lifteth me. I encourage you, what are you doing with your extra time this week? And what's your motivation when you go to read the Bible? Are you reading because it's a checklist, or are you reading because you want to grow deeper with Christ? But also, I invite you, if you're feeling lonely or frustrated, come and talk to God about that. He is with you and he wants to comfort you. He wants to be with you. So let's not grow weary this week.